So The Mandalorian Chapter 6 is now out, and I gotta say, this is an improvement over the last episode. Not that the last episode was bad or anything, I actually was one of the few that actually really enjoyed it. This one, again, is following the mode of The Mandalorian thus far, which is very episodic. The Mandalorian this time visits one of his old buddies that sends him on a mission, alongside a couple of other mercenaries, to a Republic prison ship to rescue someone, which in itself is really cool for the fact that you get to see the inside of a Republic ship again. You know, it's not the Rebels, which we saw a lot of in the original Star Wars movies, and now the sequel trilogy. Not since the prequels have you really got a sense of the Republic having its shit together, basically. And overall, this episode is really good. It had some interesting characters, a lot of neat alien species showed up. We got to see that Satan guy from the cantina again, not the same guy, someone of his race, but for all intents and purposes, he's basically Satan, and he's the muscle of this mercenary group. And we get reference to, not Jar Jar exactly, but a Gungan. Someone makes a Gungan joke, so I guess that race really does get made fun of a lot in the galaxy. Speaking of that, I would love to see a Gungan again. I know it doesn't make sense because there's, Gungans stay in their watery territory for the most part, but I don't know if I posed this in my last video about The Mandalorian, but I feel like this show, at this point, because we're on chapter 6 or episode 6, whatever you want to call that, we need a point, like we need a overall story arc. Now, the only argument that can be made is that the baby Yoda, that has no name just yet, no official name, that could be in its own episode, The Mandalorian naming the child. But you could say that the baby Yoda is the arc. What are you going to do with that creature, that very special creature? Because if you compare this to other TV shows as of, modern TV shows, like Daredevil, Punisher, Jessica Jones, you could even possibly say Lost. All those TV shows have a overarching plot. Daredevil has to fight the Kingpin, the Punisher has to find out who killed his family. You get what I'm saying. So the Mandalorian, what is he doing? He's just kind of living his life. That's what the TV show is, and it's a very strange idea for a show. Unless we get something, some kind of game-changing plot in the next episode. Because there really aren't a lot of episodes left, and you can actually interchange this episode with the previous episode, and you wouldn't really know that there was a difference, because they both end with the Mandalorian flying back up into space. You know what I mean? There's no narrative connection there, because not a lot happens for there to be a connection. So that's my only worry for the show. I'm absolutely loving it so far. It's the only good piece of Star Wars content that we've got recently, in my opinion, and I'm worried that it might become terrible, or at least mediocre, if there is no plotting. I think, if anything, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, they're going to recognize this, and maybe season 2 will actually have a overarching plot, maybe a menace of some kind that they have to fight. At least that's my hope. But so far, I'm getting the vibe that this TV show is basically something you can throw on every week and have a good time. It's something you don't want to take too seriously. Like if there was an Obi-Wan TV show, you would expect there to be more stuff going on, basically. But this kind of gives me the feel of a Saturday morning cartoon. But that's what I thought of it. Whatever you thought of it, make sure you comment below and let me know. Drop a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos just like this. And I'll catch you in my next Mandalorian review.